inherently it's about authenticity is supposed to be what the expression is about, but it actually turns out to be about a performance of these sort of like youth-related acts, you know? Like, it turns out that when you scratch the surface, it's not about an authentic performance, but instead it's about this like repetition of certain tropes of like youth and rebellion, and so that's what these things are. They're like representation of the performance, I guess.
Partly what the show is kind of resonating with me is like that it just relates to the the state of the world and like the overbearing increasing of technology and all forms of information, and basically the originality gets less and less forward produced and like put in front of your face. So obviously the music industry is like a big thing, and like it had its sort of heyday, and now it's sort of crumbling on itself with a million ways, and like the authenticity is definitely getting sort of diluted because like rock and roll is no longer like a lifestyle, it's a style, and like bands like that there's some new Nickelback song, which is a band I detest, and it's just like, I want to be a rock star, and it's just like just lists all these stupid like things that like I guess a rock star would do, and then there's that rap song "Party Like a Rock Star." It's just like it's not even talking about
the
like
music industry.
It's not
like,
talking about anything to do with music at all. It's talking about like leather pants and like flames or something like the there are malls and there are stores and malls that are just like rocker style. It's just like it has nothing. It's totally removed from music and kind of like the zeitgeist that was rock and roll. And that like dilution is like so recognizable. It doesn't even the contrast with the like its like originality and like its inception is like not even considered anymore. So and that sort of like reeks of the apocalypse because where else are you gonna go but worse, sort of, and like music is such an important, beautiful part of many people's lives, but and it still is because there's great underground scenarios, but as far as like the greater culture is concerned, it's just like a style, a tool, a marketing ploy, and it's disgusting, and just that's sort of like the ever increasing like snowball effect of like culture and technology sort of subjectively promotes like a mental apocalypse, I think.
So what
which I agree with, which is why I chose the MySpace piece, because it's very subjective, but it's like I found the Nirvana baby. Here he is. He's 17 years old now. He's got a MySpace. He's got pictures of himself like in makeup and with his shirt off, and and I'm giving my like subjective insult to this kid, even though he's just a kid, and I wore dumb things when I was 17, too. But it just more like emotes like, oh God, this is the end, in a certain, not necessarily literal way, but just it's the apocalypse of culture that gets brought to the forefront, that's original, rather than culture that's diluted and manufactured and fake. That's all you can get.
And what will even happen?
And it doesn't matter.
Like,
whatever's in the forefront is what people buy.
The music industry, because the way that marketing is changing and record sales are becoming more and more they're becoming less and less, rather, of a part of how the music industry makes money. And so much more of it is marketing the lifestyle, marketing live shows, and marketing sort of the trappings of like a specific style of a band, because the actual music itself is easily available for free for most people. And it's not that difficult, and people don't want to buy records. Like, people don't want to have this like object that represents the music anymore. It's like it's just as easy to download, and sort of the trappings of the music itself, like the album, is less important, and the trappings of the lifestyle of the music become more and more important. And I think that's not gonna change. It's just going to get worse.